Do you think books? All right. Do you think school children at school should have access to books in their library which involve strap-on dildos?
If the person is brown, they need to be rounded up and put into quote-unquote alligator Alcatraz, a concentration camp in Florida. If the person is white, we let them start a business and become Elon Musk.
Do you know how many people Barack Obama deported in 8 years?
I don't know and don't care.
Well,
You
hang
tell
on,
me.
hang on. You don't know and you don't care. The majority were brown.
Absolutely in disingenuous argument here, because this is your shtick.
It was your shtick.
It is your shtick, and everyone knows
that
that
it
it
is.
is.
People got
Understand
bored
what
with
it
it.
is.
Have you watched Brokeback Mountain?
No.
You posting on your blog that you wouldn't watch Brokeback Mountain because you don't want to see two male characters having sex. Your words, not mine, Joy.
And your point is?
I've actually got Michael Knowles waiting in the wings.
Great.
Is there anything you'd like to say to him? The MAGA base is at war over the Epstein files, but hostilities have not ceased on the Democrat side either. This week, former President Obama told a DNC fundraiser that it's time to toughen up and stop whining, navel-gazing, and being in for peace coalitions. He urged Democrats to stand up for the things that you think are right. The problem, of course, is that Democrats don't agree on what they think is right. They are only united in saying that Trump is wrong. That's demonstrated in colorful language by former CNN host Chris Cuomo.
I don't give a fuck how many likes you get on your comments by hating Trump, because it doesn't win the race. 42, 44%. That's what just happened. Trump sucks, doesn't win the race.
You have any dreams, dog?
You keep doing the same thing, which is just pound on this fucking guy. It's easy enough to do, but you don't
What about you?
win the race. So now what you're doing is doubling down on Trump sucks by outrage and making.
Well, last stream I had was about that dog that I was supposed to pick up on Friday.
Real question: how fast can you actually?
But that was a few days ago.
It's not clear who is leading the
What happened in the dream, though?
There are the pragmatic centrists like Josh Shapiro, Pete Buttigieg, who are social.
I could remember the day that I had it, but I don't really remember it now.
And there are the radicals like
It's
AOC,
weirdly weird. Like it's hard to remember
Bernie
dreams like
who
that
want
for
to
me
burn it all
sometimes.
down and start again. Many people, myself included, say Trump's victory is the culmination of
stop.
huge
Lay down,
backlash
lay down.
to identity politics and its unhealthy obsession with racial justice, woke
Break any more plates?
and demonizing opponents. Many people, including myself, saw Joy Reid as a strike.
Are you going to?
Depends. If it breaks, and it breaks.
With racial justice, woke activism, and demonizing opponents. And she can
There's nothing you can do to avoid doing that, huh? You fucking piece of shit.
Well, I've done that same thing with like probably 50, 60 other plates, so.
Joins me now, Joy Reid. Welcome to Uncensored.
Is it your plate to break?
Well, we've never met, I don't think. We've never spoken to each other.
I don't know whose it is actually. I don't think it's anyone's.
In the past, I think I'm blocked.
I think it was my
by
grandma.
Oh yeah, it's no one's.
crime I committed,
Yeah.
but,
And you broke it.
Probably Trump related.
And you
Just first of
fucking
all,
broke it.
What Barack Obama has said, or
The
what Chris
fuck is your
Cuomo said
problem?
there, has that given you pause for thought about what the Democrats should now do? Because it's all very well just shrieking constantly about how evil Trump is, but it clearly hasn't worked now twice. You know, the fact the guy went away.
I asked you a damn
back
question.
and won again was
Yeah, and what was your
utter
faggot question?
repudiation of
Fuck is your problem?
What's her problem?
My problem is that you're breaking plates, dude.
Nice. I think that's the least of your worries.
Yeah. What are my worries supposed to be?
I didn't say that there was supposed to be anything, but I think
Exactly.
that's the least of your worries.
No, you said they're the least of my worries, so clearly you know what I should be worried about more. So fucking tell me.
You on X Twitter because I haven't been on X Twitter.
I'm not saying that you should be. I said that you
No,
are.
no, tell me. Tell me.
Tama.
Who's that supposed to be?
You?
That's what I sound like?
Who the fuck else would that be?
Bro, what kind of fucking retard voice is that, man? Yo, dude, I got hired at that barbecue place.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
I'm really surprised because I don't know anything about barbecues and they still hired me.
Well, that's how it is, right? What name did he put on your resume?
What name?
Yeah.
My name. What the fuck kind of question is that? Why'd you ask that stupid ass question?
I'm just curious.
No. Why'd you ask it? You have to have a reason. Why did you ask that question?
Well, it's a question, dude. I can't ask fucking simple questions.
Nice. Yeah, he told me, like after I got hired, he's like some fucking faggot. And Rock Bondi.
Nice, dude.
Fucking
Well, hey,
gave me
he
resume.
remembered me, so I guess.
And then I did a. No,
Yes,
and he's just like, yeah, I did a background check on him, and apparently this faggot voted for Trudeau, so I didn't hire him.
All right, I'm going to explain to you why. Also,
God.
we have updates. Laura Trump. Okay, the backlash towards Donald Trump.
I guess that's
and the
proof,
Trump
though, that
family feeling it.
you can only
We had Laura
vote for
Trump
that
with
guy if
her-
you're literally
A
retarded.
little interview. I think it was
30 seconds until minions
last
spawn.
night
Yeah.
or Saturday night on Fox News. Laura Trump had her J13 interview with President Trump, and honestly, nobody cared.
Fucking.
Nobody cared.
So what, did you go to the
because
depot
Trump
today, or-
backhanding, the entire base
Yeah.
for caring about pedophiles.
When did you get off?
And exposing, okay,
Around
for
3 o'clock.
caring about pedophiles raping children and
Minions
exposing
have
them,
spawned.
right?
Oh,
And so we have updates now. Now the backlash has been so insane. This
okay.
morning, Charlie Kirk, okay, and I'm so glad people are finally seeing this stuff. Dude. I'm
You got any more burning
I-
questions, or are you gonna
I
fucking
do
stream?
not regret for 1 millisecond.
What
leaving
faggot
Dunning,
question did you just ask?
Charlie Kirk getting blasted.
You're either deaf or
absolutely
retarded.
on
No, I think you're
all
retarded.
over
That question was
social media
AIDS,
from
bro.
MAGA, from the base. Charlie Kirk coming out.
I said,
He had a phone
are you gonna
call.
ask me any more fucking questions, or are you gonna start the stream?
Are you...
Done talking
Okay, no
about
wonder I didn't fucking understand your
right now, and
question.
it's just gonna-
Fucking piece of shit.
Fucking gay faggot.
friends in the administration. The ball's in their
Go play Yasue again.
whatever they're gonna do.
Fucking loser.
Done
Fucking kill
talking
yourself,
about
holy
FC
shit.
For now. The
Could
backlash
imagine
is
Some
being a
fucking
fucking negative
bad.
IQ
cowboy,
retard.
you faggot.
Bad. Charlie Kirk was doing damage control on
Fucking gay name is that anyway?
the full context of what I said was we were talking about
Bro, I'm gonna do your workout tomorrow, but I'm only gonna use 5 pounds.
weekend. And the context is, well, I'm
Do
just
whatever
done
you want.
talking about it right now, and of course I'm willing to talk about it later. The backlash was so
And
bad.
I'm gonna
So,
I'm
and
gonna
guys, did I
fucking
not tell you?
find that lesbian.
Alright? Did I not
Which
tell
one?
you?
Wait,
What
what?
did I tell
Yeah,
you
that's
guys?
done in
I
front
said
of
my
her.
days are all
Oh, no, I haven't
whatever.
seen her for like 2 months,
I
dude.
think it was
I
Saturday.
completely
We went
forgot
live
about
on
her.
Saturday. Remember I told you, I said, guys,
Well, she'll be there tomorrow.
Dude, she is that fucking insane.
pay attention to all of your favorite show hosts, commentators, pay attention to what they do today, how they address it, do they even address it, or do they try to get you focused on something else? Pay attention to how they try to get you to drop this issue. How many of you
An ally has been slain.
noticed today something very off with a lot of these people? Did you guys notice some of these people, some of these cowards, not willing to address this massive elephant in the room, in MAGA, in Trump world, in the country? Did you guys notice this? I told you. Okay? Charlie Kirk it's so insane. I am just so glad I walked away from all that. I'm so glad. And it was because, at the time I knew, people trying to get me to suppress my Christian values and stance speaking out against homosexuality and gay marriage. I'm like, bro, if they can't perversion. I'm out, dude. I'm out. And here we are. And here we are. Okay, and here we are. And so we'll be taking a look at that as well. And now Laura Trump, the backlash is split so bad. As it should be. None of you should let this thing go. None of you. And the backlash
If all this fucking dumbasses start the stream when I've been streaming for like
Laura
fucking
Trump
10 minutes
goes on
already.
Benny Johnson, I think this morning. And you know, I don't know Benny Johnson's intent.
What you say, dog?
Honestly,
Some fucking retard.
not a fan.
Said some dumb shit earlier.
But
Fucking retard doesn't know how to fucking play Dead Space or fucking master. Fucking retard doesn't know how to fucking piece of shit.
Con Inc. is so desperate. They're so desperate to try to make sense of it. A lot of careers are on the line.
Fucking retard gets a fucking $5,000 PC and you can only play fucking League, dude. What a fucking loser.
And it's just interesting that Ghislaine Maxwell comes out and is willing to
What a
testify
fucking
in Congress
waste of fucking money.
the truth about the Epstein client list, and literally less than 24 hours later, you got Laura Trump on Benny Johnson saying more's gonna come out. Trump cares. The Trump administration cares about transparency. I'm pretty sure you're gonna see more on Epstein soon. So first, there is no incriminating list. There is no third-party criminality on the list. Then Trump comes out and says, well, the list is actually a Democrat hoax. Now you got Laura Trump on the Benny Johnson show. Less than 24
Go
hours.
by all. What the fuck was that, dude?
Ghislaine Maxwell is out there with her legal
Was a
team saying
sneeze.
she's willing to testify in Congress. The truth about
That
the
at least
Epstein
makes some
client list.
sense.
I just find the timing of all of this to be very suspect. Now you
Sounded
got Laura
retarded.
Trump, all right, on the Benny Johnson show. In my opinion, tread carefully, because this is where the hopium comes in. Remember what Bondi just did with all of the MAGA influencers, the smiley retards with the Epstein Phase 1 binders. It's clear people in this administration think you're an idiot. It's clear people in this administration think you're retarded, think you're a lemon, think you're a cult. And they've already tried to use the low IQ MAGA influencers out there already to deceive you, to run a psyop on you. So tread careful.
Oh my god, they can't even have
When
fucking.
someone in Trump world jumps on the Benny Johnson show or any of these shows and tries to do some kind of damage to Trump. Okay, I'm very skeptical of everything right now. I really am. Now, like I said, I don't know Benny Johnson's intentions. I really don't. I could only assume. I think he's got 4 kids, majority daughters. I think they're all daughters. So I could only assume, as Benny's going through this, he's looking at his daughters, looking at his kids every night, probably thinking to himself, this could be my babies on that damn list being covered up right now. I could only assume that, you know what I mean? I can only assume that.
Oh, man.
So, we're gonna cover this, all these updates, and I did want to hit and touch on TPOSA attempting to have a debate about Israel. Okay, with a comedian that is allegedly Jewish, and obviously another Jewish person that is Israel forever. Okay. I want to address that because that's definitely going to be used in order to somehow appease the conversation. I think it was insane to watch what Tucker Carlson did the other day. It was wild. Right here. But I would be hesitant because these people do stuff like this. They'll give you like a soft version in order to appear edgy or like, see, they're based, right? And I'll explain to you why as well. So we're gonna be covering all of this, guys. We're gonna be covering all this. A lot of detail to deal with, as always. We will be live for the next 4 hours, 4.5 hours. That's how it goes. So subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, hit the bell notification. Please copy the link and share this broadcast everywhere. And as always, if you would like to support the broadcast, drop some gifted memberships. Get that red button going in the chat. Participate in the conversation. Get that chat going, man. Get the chat flying. And when you drop gifted memberships, that's the #1 way to support the show, because you're not only supporting me, you're blessing other people here on the channel, and I really love that. I think that's awesome. And you should keep that up. Like to support the show, drop some gifted memberships.
Oh no.
Get to them. Or some Rumble rants as well. Right? Or some Rumble rants as well. And obviously, we do breaking news, so if anything huge goes down while we are alive,
What you having for dinner, though?
Probably,
I do want to address
Burrito bowl.
Okay. So, President Trump,
Too lazy
by
to
the way,
cook,
we'll
dog.
actually start here, because
What?
it leads into it.
You too lazy to cook, dog.
So Trump puts out this Truth Social post on Saturday.
Yeah.
And MAGA is
You gotta cook your dinner, dog. Why you going out to buy burrito bowls? Fucking lazy, dog.
If there is a hill for MAGA to die on, it's this one. Alright? If there is a hill for MAGA to die on, it is this one. Seeking justice for raped children. And Trump puts out this post, and as of right now, this is 2 days ago, on Saturday, Trump gets ratioed. This rate, I've never seen this. This is the first time in Truth Social history President Trump gets ratioed on his own platform. Now, we broke down this post on Saturday. We'll do a little bit more of that here tonight. A couple more things that I would really like to point out to you. But there are 47.3 thousand comments and 42.5 thousand likes. This is a big freaking deal, okay? A big freaking deal. And so, clearly this administration is feeling the heat. Clearly Trump is way off on this one. Because, and if you read, we looked at a lot of these comments on Saturday. It's a lot of mothers, it's a lot of moms, grandmas, grandpas, grandfathers. It's a lot, dude. And Trump has totally miscalculated on this one, because it's dude, whether you want to entertain the whole the Epstein files is a Democrat hoax, it's the fact that
What the fuck is he doing, man?
the Jeffrey Epstein disclosure, the Epstein files disclosure, is a waste of time and energy. And that's very important. Okay, so at the end of the day, Trump is trying to tell you that, yeah, the backlash is well-deserved. It is well-deserved. Okay? So we get this on Saturday, and then late Sunday yesterday, late afternoon, late evening if you're on the East Coast, this huge report pops up. Daily Mail, Ghislaine Maxwell, this is Gateway Pundit reporting. Ghislaine Maxwell, ready to testify before Congress to blow lid off Epstein files and elite pedophile network. Now, I'm hesitant, and I did, when this dropped, I sent this to Alex Jones last night, said, hey man, look at this. I tweeted, and you know, obviously your first assumption is the next headline will be Ghislaine Maxwell commits suicide. However, there are a couple ways to look at this. And the first one
An ally has been slain.
is,
One
well,
less tyrant.
if this is for real, honestly willing to do something like this, and it's been reported that Republicans in Congress are trying to halt her and stop her, even the DOJ, but I'm gonna get into that right now because we just got another report right before I went live that has to do with Ghislaine Maxwell. Ghislaine Delane.
An enemy
If
has
this
been
were
slain.
true, if she was truly ready to disclose what's going on,
Shut down.
you would have to deny several. Okay, and but in the scenario that
Ally has been slain.
willing to do this,
Holy fuck,
it's
dude, she didn't even
100%
back.
authentic, and she's willing to do the world a
fucking
service and tell the
garbage,
truth,
bro.
A, I believe she will end up dead before she can. And B,
Sometimes you gotta say these people are garbage, dog. Look in the fucking mirror.
and even
Yeah, I'm the
then,
only one that isn't feeding on my team.
I wouldn't be
Nah, you feeding, dog. You feeding, dog.
blowing the whistle. And I'm gonna explain to you why. Okay? And I'm not trying to run cover for Trump. I'm not trying to run cover for anybody. This is what I see here, and I'll explain to you why. Like I said, if she's like giving her life sacrifice and is, you know, fully repentant and sees her only way to forgiveness but to make some kind of bring some kind of light to what she's done and get this off of her guilty conscience and to do the world a service, be willing to do what's necessary. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just saying that would be the only likely scenario something like that would be happening. Okay? And I'm not quite too sure that's exactly what this is. And in the event that does happen,
I can help.
this is extremely problematic for a lot of people. It's problematic for world governments, billionaires, millionaires,
Okay.
Hollywood elite, celebrities, bankers.
An ally has been slain.
If this is authentic,
Oh shit, that's fucking thing. Let's go.
I'm entertaining the scenario. It's real.
Enemy double
Try to
kill.
get as fair as I can and kind of lay out a few scenarios for you guys.
Holy
but
shit, dude.
An ally has been
if
slain.
we're authentic, it would have to be somewhere down that line. I don't even think she would be given the opportunity to do so, even if she were 100% authentic and real and ready to blow the whistle. For whatever reason she did, and it's real. Just, you know, just assuming it's real. Let's just entertain that scenario. Yeah, it would be damning for Trump. It would be damning for Republicans. It would be damning for Democrats. And like I said, millionaires, bankers, Israel.
Oh
UK,
my god, I
the
just missed that.
royal family,
Yeah, that's crazy.
CEOs, the most powerful
That's
and rich
legitimately
people on the face
insane,
of planet
bro.
Earth. If it's real, this woman will end up dead. And they'll say she's suicided herself, just like Epstein did, and just like Virginia Drake. Right? And
Shut down.
there's one thing. Well, actually, there's two things. There's two things. Like Trump is effed. Okay. All this cover up
ally
going
has
on
been
for
slain.
the reasons that people are obviously now assuming. And all these people with absolutely
An enemy has been slain.
because obviously she is a living soul that knows the truth, right?
That's enough.
She's a living soul that knows the truth. Now, her integrity brings me to what do you actually think?
Bro, what the fuck is he doing?
Her integrity is
It's playing the game how you're supposed to, dog.
I don't trust her.
He's about to die.
I don't trust her.
Well, back up, dude.
Why? My top two reasons.
Just died.
And one seems to have been confirmed. My top two reasons is claim that she is an intelligence agency asset. Okay, period. Whether she has any official, plea deal with the federal government, the FBI, CIA, or unofficially Mossad process. The levels of organized blackmail through pedophilia and child sex trafficking through Wayne Maxwell is international. She is an intelligence agency asset, foreign and domestic, right? You can't think that hasn't gone away, okay? You can't think that hasn't gone away because the opposite could happen. That's sort of what I'm gonna media tycoon giant. Her father just randomly dies and is found in the ocean on some kind of yacht trip. He's buried in Israel. Mount of Olives. Yeah.
How comes the guitar string?
Nice.
I asked you a fucking question.
Yeah, that's nice.
Dog, what songs have you learned?
Nice.
Okay. You know,
Yeah,
you don't
dude,
just
so
get
you're
buried
a
in
quitter.
Israel. That's a big freaking deal.
Can you quit something you never started?
Nah, you started. You put your hands on that guitar, dog. You
Nice,
started,
dude.
dog.
Nice. That's great.
Amongst others. Multiple witnesses, victims that
fucking
were raped by
quit,
Epstein
dog.
have testified that he would himself would boast. That's how Epstein met. The daughter of Mr. Maxwell, right? Ghislaine, etc., all of that. Major connections there. And so you can't just ignore that. You know what I mean? You cannot just ignore that. And Epstein, on multiple occasions, from the witness testimonies, would always boast about how powerful he is, or use it in a way to put fear in the victims. How powerful he is, connections to Mossad, MI6. And so you can't just turn a blind eye on that. That's real. That's documented. And,
God, he
with
can't
that,
hit a single fucking post, bro.
that's one of the reasons I don't trust it.
Dude, how is she not dead, bro?
Shut up!
The full force of the fall. And for that reason, because they don't just let this black people. They will use people like that as an asset, and that to me, she could be used to do the opposite. So when you look at a situation like this, Maxwell's ready to come and testify in Congress to the Republicans. Well, she could be used to run the cover. She She could be used to run cover for all of the Zionists. She could be used to run cover for Israel.
Inhibitor has been destroyed.
Because she has to. Right? Like, we are talking levels of blackmail. We're talking levels of sinister operations that you most likely will never sit down and think about. Because
Dog, guess who's gonna be the new CEO of State Street, dog?
okay. This is the real deal.
You're talking about.
Nice, dude.
So show me some fucking respect, alright?
I'm not into QAnon, dude. I don't do that.
I'll just call. I will fucking call BlackRock to fucking deal with you, alright? Unless you show me the fucking respect I deserve.
So she is an intelligence agency
An enemy
asset.
has
So
been
with that in
slain.
mind,
Wouldn't be
she could
surprised.
used to run cover. I am skeptical. All right, I'm 100% skeptical. I don't trust her. I think it could most likely go in that direction. But like I said, at the end of the day, I don't know Leon's heart. I don't know if she's going through some born-again experience. I don't know. At the end of the day, she's an intelligence agency asset.
Enemy rampage.
This guy's literally just
And so, with that said, I'm not quite
describe what he's
sure
doing, to be honest.
if he's a reliable source. Because she could be enabled and used to run cover to just shut everything down. And be used to pin it on whoever they tell it to. Run cover for Israel, Assad, MI6, UK, royal family, and everybody else, and just give a narrative that they want you to have. That's the first main reason on this Maxwell situation that causes me to be very skeptical. When I saw this could be bad. However, it would be good.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Right? And my second
Double kill.
if she's seeking a
Shut down.
Leave them in narcissist.
that's
This
what
round will not hold.
seeking anything out of this,
let's go. Oh my god, that was fucking insane.
my
Massive,
second
holy
suspicion
fuck.
seems to have been confirmed tonight.
See, my teammate probably would have died if I didn't fucking get over there.
Did I ask
If
you?
she's seeking
Holy
a plea
fuck,
deal
bro.
to
Like,
shorten her sentence,
Did I fucking
Shit
ask
is
you?
absolute
for
hell.
This type of information, I think that discredits her entirely. I don't believe if you are having a get experience and you simply
So did you
wanna
win
do
the
right
car?
thing, I just don't see someone, and that would be the only
It's Monday.
It's Monday.
Yeah, the draw's
I
not.
could see someone
That's happy, bro.
truly being willing to do this, in all honesty. I don't see that. I don't see that. If there are strings attached to this thing, it is 100% not to be trusted. Because, simply put, obviously she would want something out of it over information like this. She'll just say whatever she knows she needs to say, or
An ally has been slain.
sentence, or maybe even get out of jail free. And it does appear my suspicions have been confirmed. It appears. So this dropped right before I went live, and it appears my suspicions seem to be pretty on.
An ally has been slain.
DOJ rejects. Now you can take a look at this.
Rampage.
Maxwell's
fucking serious? Come on.
The DOJ
I dance on you.
is attempting to stop her.
Oh, fucking shit.
However, it's an appeal. She's seeking something. Your inhibitor this confirms my suspicions.
What a fucking joke.
Seeking something in this appeal. Is seeking something in exchange testify. However, that could be true, but also at the same time, that Maxwell wants something out of this.
Okay, I'm warmed up.
The DOJ on Monday asked the Supreme Court to conviction. A move that comes as the department has recently come under fire for its handling of Epstein's case files. Maxwell, 63 years old, was convicted by a jury in New York in 2021 of 5 counts involving sex trafficking of a minor and conspiracy. She was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Maxwell appealed her conviction, saying it should be tossed out for several reasons, including that a plea deal Epstein reached with the federal government in 2007 immunized her, and that statutes of limitations had run out. The U.S. Court of Appeals. Now, like I said, this just gives the appearance she wants something out of it, or this could be simply the appeal process to get out and testify in Congress. But we would have to really see just exactly how this is done, because I already don't trust her. That's not me trying to run cover for Trump. It's just her history doesn't, cause me to trust her. But also at the same
Yo, dude, you there? Fucking faggot retard.
What?
Wouldn't it be lit if, what's his name, Damon killed that, the whore bitch? You think that would redeem his character?
Nope.
Really?
He's a cuck, dude.
Yeah, but then if he kills the one who he got cocked by, then wouldn't that...
Nah, he's a fucking cuck, dude. Just have fucking the other one kill them all.
Which one?
The one with his eye cut out.
Yeah, it'd be nice if he was If he won, but I don't think he will.
The F-47 is a next-generation, sixth-generation fighter jet.
I hate these fucking AI voices, dude.
NGAD program. On March 21st, 2025, U.S. President Donald Trump announced the signing of a contract with Boeing to build this aircraft, emphasizing that the F-47 would be the most advanced, most powerful, and deadliest aircraft ever built. During a briefing with Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, Trump also stated that an experimental version of the F-47 had been secretly flying for nearly 5 years and the capabilities of existing fighter jets.
In the past, you may have needed, a whole strike from a carrier to be able to do that. Now you just do it with one airplane.
General David Al.
Everyone is super concerned about World War III.
Since Elon Musk acquired it, I actually left the platform, so there might be someone posing as me who's blocked you. So
I think it was prior to Elon's purchase.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, so this is an interesting conversation because there is no one who is more obsessed with racial identity politics than Donald Trump. He ran the most racial identity politics laden campaign that I've seen in my lifetime, and I've been following politics since I was 12. The point of his campaign was, if I was to sum it up, that immigrants, whom he identified as gang members from Venezuela, as people from S-hole countries, as essentially any non-white migrant or immigrant in the country, were vermin who were poisoning the blood of our country.
Well, he was talking about criminal, illegal immigrants. He was talking. Well, hang on. He was talking. You can't misquote him off the top. This is my point, though. This is my point. I remember. Let me just say something, Joy. I remember when he won in 2016. I was at the New York Knicks the next day with my eldest son, and Chris Rock was there at the next table. We got talking. I said, "Why do you think Trump won?" And he said, "You know why?" He said, "If someone's murdered 8 people, stop going around saying he's murdered 9." And he didn't mean Trump had actually murdered anyone. What he meant was, there's plenty to criticize Trump about. I've done it myself many times. But there's also a lot of stuff that resonates with people. And I think it's the over-exaggeration, the over-demonization of Trump is part of the problem.
So what exercise are you going to do tomorrow, dog?
His depiction of immigrants. He said the word immigrants. Actually, what he was talking about,
Dumbbell press.
Ask you a fucking question.
Was specifically
your question is fucking retarded. Yeah, and I
fuck.
answered your fucking retarded ass question, dumb cunt.
Nah, you take fucking 10 years to answer. Hurry the fuck up.
In huge numbers who are criminals.
Said,
he wasn't talking about
press,
non-criminal immigrants, as you tried to put it there.
Dumbbell press, dumbbell press. That's it.
No, first of all,
what weights?
False. Let's talk about
20s.
For one example, the Haitian
right,
immigrants in Ohio.
What? You think I'm gonna do more than 20s,
who were
dude?
in the country on
Nice, do it on a fucking dumbbell bench press. You're only gonna use 20 pounds, huh?
Taking jobs desperately, where people desperately needed to hire.
Why the fuck are you even going to the gym, dude?
Any, enough American-born employees, and they were hiring these folks. They were taking badly needed jobs. They were improving the community economically. He accused them of eating people's cats and dogs. He characterized them as if they were animals. These are people who his own administration had allowed into the country on a legitimate visa.
But I agree with you.
First of all, I'll stop. Let me just.
But I agree with you.
So his all-encompassing term about immigrants being vermin and poisoning the blood of the country was all-encompassing because it included them, and in his mind, it included anyone who he said came from an S-hole country, meaning if you came from Nigeria, if you came from the Gabon, if you came from any country from Africa, he in a blanketed way, depicted immigrants, and then with Nazi terminology.
Well, let's leave Nazi down. You know what? Whenever people.
And wait, let me.
Yeah, but Joy, it's taking you what? It's taking you 4 minutes, and you've called him a Nazi already. Come on.
And now, what we're seeing are masked federal agents sweeping up
An enemy has been slain.
abuelas who work on farms, picking up dishwashers, any brown person, and Tom Holder said, based on one criteria being their appearance, overwhelmingly brown, and some black people. We're not seeing them sweeping up white folks on the street. Donald Trump ran a racial identity campaign, and yeah, this is America. That is appealing to, unfortunately, a lot of Americans.
Well, actually, it would turn out to be very appealing to Latino Americans who voted in record numbers. More Latinos voted for him than voted for Kamala Harris, non-white candidate. More black Americans, African Americans voted for Trump this time around than first time. So this
Statistically, it was the same.
No,
the same number of black
it was
Republicans
actually
voted for him that
more black Americans voted for Trump this time than last time.
It was the same. And by the way, this is the other challenge. There is a phenomenon, and my family and there is a phenomenon among immigrants of slamming the door behind themselves. And by the way, more Latinas, women in the Latino community voted for Harris. But there is a phenomenon of people who actually are independent and studying and spend a lot of time on it. There are a lot of Latinos who want so badly to identify with Americanness that they identify against fellow immigrants. That is not a new thing.
No, but maybe they weren't identifying. Maybe they weren't identifying. But Joy,
that's not new.
Maybe they were just
blackness.
Maybe let me respond to that.
Community is not new.
Let me respond to that. Maybe they were just sick and tired of people like you. And I say people like you. A Nazi. Maybe they thought it was ridiculous.
Maybe
to compare. But let me finish. You have repeatedly overruled a Nazi. Now the Nazis were the most despicable, awful human beings we've seen in 1,000 years. They murdered 12 million people, 6 million Jews in the Holocaust. Trump isn't a Nazi. So when you do that, you fought it. Let me finish.
You've just done what you normally do. I have said he uses Nazi terminology, and that's a fact.
Right.
Saying people are poisoning the blood of our country, that is Nazi talk. That is what I said about Trump. I will stand by it. This is your calling.
Okay.
And saying that they're poisoning the blood of our country, you are lifting language out of the Nazi playbook. That is very different from saying that Donald Trump is perpetrating a Holocaust such as in the 1930s. But what he is doing is straight fascism. That's not me saying it. Mark Milley, his former Joint Chiefs of Staff chair, said that he is a fascist to the core. His former Chief of Staff says he's a fascist, and the things he's doing,
Hear me, you pasty cunt.
people off the street, not even showing any.
You fucking hear me?
Let me ask you a question. You made this point.
I will stand by that any day.
Let me ask you a question about immigration.
Don't hear your fucking retarded ass piece of shit.
What do you mean you don't fucking hear me, dude? Yo, pick a number between 1 and 20.
9.
Yeah, I knew it. You're fucking gay. I'm sorry to tell you.
What? I picked a number, you fucking dumb cunt.
Yeah, I know, 9. That means you're gay.
Nice, dude.
Actually making you fat. According to heart surgeon and uncensored sponsor, Dr. Steve Gundry, many Americans think it's common benefits in cancer and health benefits. Some fruits support digestion and even help burn calories, but others can affect your energy levels and stomach health. also in the show notes. Don't miss this opportunity to learn how a few simple things. Visit thehealthyfat.com/Morgan to find out now. So my view, for what it's worth, as somebody who is an exceptional alien, is how it's described on my visa to the United States, but I have a home in Los Angeles, and I love America. I've lived and worked there for 20 years. My view is that most Americans, I think instinctively, do not have a problem with the principle of the undocumented workers who commit crimes in the United States. Would you have a problem with that as a policy?
As a policy, if people get a hearing and they go through a process, sure. But that is not what's happening.
No, I'm going to come to the next bit.
Hold on, that is not what's
Joy,
happening.
I'm going to finish my point.
It's not what's happening.
I wanted to see what you were prepared to agree with me about, because I think it's healthy to the debate, right? So we both agree about that, which is good. Now, I don't think that they should have pressed the button on deporting as many illegal immigrants who are there undocumented, who not committed in the way that they're currently doing. That they should have sorted first of all people who are in the country illegally who commit crimes and deported them.
Bro, why the
But I agree with you. The wholesale pulling of people off the street who may have been in America for many years, families in America who pay taxes in America. You really have to talk to farmers to understand the devastating impact this may have. So on that, I would agree with you. But I also think that, and I hope you agree, that Donald Trump has pretty much stopped completely the number of people coming over the southern border. And under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, over a 4-year period, as many as 10 million people are believed to come over the southern border illegally. Now, you must surely think that the Trump way of securing the southern border is better for the United States than the Biden way.
First of all, if Donald Trump's numbers about how many people came in over the southern border, I don't buy them.
What number do you buy?
Let me go on.
How many do you think it was? How many do you think it was?
Let's just say, are you asking your youth
how long?
rather than working on farms, working on you have to recall that there was, again, being in the United States without documents is a civil offense. It is not a felony. And so the reality is, if it was 10 million people, we have to ask ourselves, what is the pull? America has always run, from the time that people who looked like me were enslaved, on cheap labor, on free labor to start its own and then empire, and then on a constant pull of cheaper and cheaper labor. That is a pull that is pulling people over. And then, of course, there's the push of the...
Oh my god, he didn't. Holy fuck, dude.
It was a fact of life when Donald Trump was president the first time.
But what's that got to do with how many come over the southern border illegally?
No, the difference is now, if you let's say we end all undocumented migration to the United States, all that would do is put a burden on the whole part of it, because you have industries that desperately rely on farm labor, on construction labor.
Why shouldn't you have a
That's
system?
not an
but Joy, why
raising it to zero does nothing to change my life.
Joy, why shouldn't
But what
people?
it's done is
Why shouldn't people? Let me just ask you. Why shouldn't people? When I wanted to live and work in America, I mean, just go through a proper process and get accepted to be allowed to come into the United States. That is how a normal, well-controlled border works. So what you seem to be suggesting is that because America's economy needs a lot of work, we should simply have a system where anyone can come in. And if that's not your belief, then how would you regulate the southern border?
I'm going to say to you that
Bro, this guy's literally AFK, bro.
Shut your fucking mouth.
Holy shit, man, I literally don't have a team.
Stayed an order of deportation, stayed anyway, and was allowed to leave the country. Elon Musk's brother says, and Elon Musk's brother said they overstayed their student visa, started a business which would have been illegal for someone on a student visa, were allowed to stay. They are white migrants, and somehow that was okay. What we're seeing is a selective enforcement of this outrage. If the person is brown, they need to be rounded up and put into quote-unquote alligator Alcatraz, a concentration camp in Florida. If the person is white, we let them start a business and become a front line. What's happening is that Stephen Miller people a day rounded up, and he has said he doesn't care where they have to get there. He wants ICE going to Home Depot. He wants them going on construction sites, going on to farms, and dragging brown people and into detention. They're not putting people in private prisons that are unregulated by the federal government. We've heard stories of people eating rotten food, having to use
you still haven't told me what you would do
for the restroom. And so the reality is what we have right now is we have a system of literal...
I've been trying to configure this field for an hour, but this CRM sucks. Maybe it's time to stand up to these slow, archaic CRMs. We deserve a CRM that doesn't take forever to create a report. We need a CRM we won't hate, and that will actually help us work faster. And should we find such a CRM, our work will be known as efficient, faster, and better.
Bro, what the fuck is this dumbass fucking doing, man? Wow.
From creating real-time dashboards and starting creating quotes, invoices, and building custom pipelines. Start with a free trial. See how you can speed up your sales cycle with Monday CRM.
Terrorism against brown migrants simply because Stephen Miller does not want them in the country.
As you know, they're not all brown, as you know.
Well, the vast majority are.
Well, but you haven't answered my question also. If you were running the southern border, if you were in charge, if you were the border czar, what would you do? Would you let them all in, or would you stop some of them coming in?
The first thing that I would do is to look at some of the actual legislation that's been put on the table before. You have a very small number of immigration judges who deal with people who are presenting themselves for asylum, which, by the way, is perfectly legal. It is legal to present yourself for asylum. But there are scarcely any judges who are informed by partisan that would increase the number of those judges. If you actually had enough people to adjudicate asylum cases at the border, it would make that easier. I've actually been to the southern border and looked at the previous version of detention that Donald Trump did in his first term. First of all, it was horrific, and it was abusive even then to children.
And were you was outraged by Barack Obama's deportation program?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that Barack Obama made some compromises that I do not think were morally sound in order to try to lure Republicans into doing the immigration.
Do you know how many people he deported?
Marco Rubio.
Do you know how many people Barack Obama deported in 8 years?
I'm sure you're going to tell me.
Well, why don't you guess?
Your turret has
I don't know and don't care.
You don't know and you don't care. You've just given me...
Because it's not the issue. You're trying to make the issue the southern border.
You've just given me... Joy.
The point is...
Joy. You've just given me... Joy. Joy.
Women...
Joy. Let me finish. You just... Joy. 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 You've just given me...
I'm sure going to tell me it's your main issue.
You've just given me
But it's not my main
Joy.
issue. My main issue is that what we're saying...
I'm trying to finish my sentence. You've
Please.
just given me a lengthy monologue attacking Donald Trump's aggressive deportation policy. And I've simply said to you there was a Democrat, a black president of the United States.
Holy fuck, I'm actually godlike.
Of the Trump deportation policy and given you on the airwaves in America on a daily basis through Obama's tenure, how many people did he deport in 8 years?
I do not know. You'll tell me. I'm sure.
Have a guess.
But it's probably more than 1 million people. I'm quite certain. Because I think each 2 million.
With 3 million.
Okay. And your point being?
My point being, are you as shocked by that as you are claiming to be by Trump? If you're stressed about back taxes, miss the April deadline, or your books are a mess, well, don't wait. IRS is crashing down. Taxes add up fast, 5% per month, that's 25%. Filing. Tax Network USA can help. They've assisted thousands of Americans, business owners, and people have filed with you.
Hey, lay down. Lay down.
Programs and expert negotiators.
Bro, like, what are they... Bruh.
You'll get a free consultation, and they may even be able to...
Lay down.
Don't wait for IRS Letter 48
Wait a minute.
the majority were brown.
One moment. It is not deportation in and of itself that is what is shocking. There are two things that are shocking. Number one.
Okay, come here.
I'll do three. One. It is not
Leave your dog alone.
to render someone
It's
to
not
a
my dog.
third-party country they have no connection to.
I agree.
Rendering people
I agree.
to El Salvador.
Come here,
is
lay down.
And that's why he's
was
coming
not
back.
done by Biden.
That's why that
It
guy's
was
come
not done
back.
by George W. Bush. All right, so that is shocking.
Yeah.
Number two,
That's why he came
deporting
back.
people with
he's come back.
to that gulag. Yes, but they deported more than 200 people, 70% of whom CBS has determined had no criminal record
But why
whatsoever.
are you changing the subject
that's
from
number
Obama's
one.
deportation
No,
policy?
I'm telling you, the three things that are shocking are not deportations themselves. It's deporting people, number one, to third-party countries like the Sudan, where they have no...
I asked you about your response to Obama. Obama deported more people than any president in American history.
If there's a deportation process, at the end of that adjudication, you are deemed to be deportable and need to be
But you're missing my point, Joy. Boy, I'm trying to politely ask you, do you condemn... Right, but here's my point. In the interest of fairness, do you condemn Barack Obama's deportation policy, given that he deported more people, let me finish, more people than any American president in history in his 8
What
years?
an absolutely disingenuous argument,
Wow.
Piers. Because what people are
Wow.
yes. No, I'm gonna explain it because I just said that, first of all, I think it was a moral compromise that I disagree with vehemently. That Barack Obama made to try to lure Republicans who were never going to really come to the table for immigration reform. I disagree with what he did. But if there's a process for deportation, that's one thing. If you are rendering people with no process, if you are rendering them to third parties, and if you are kidnapping them off the street, this is in 1930s Germany or South Africa in the 1980s,
This course is about machine learning.
horror.
I hear
And
you.
if you can't speak to that, I don't know what to tell you.
I hear you. All I tell you is that Obama deported a hell of a lot more people
But that
than
isn't
Trump,
the issue. The
and
issue
most
is,
of them were
was there
brown.
a process
And last time
for
I checked, Barack
deportation?
Obama isn't white, so it may not be
And
a
what does
race
that have
thing
to
in
do
the way
with Barack Obama
you're
being black?
telling me.
Now you're the one obsessed with race. You want to make this a racial argument. The argument is that the Obama administration,
You made it a
the
racial
Biden
argument.
administration, because Donald Trump fixed
You said
on
Trump
attacking black
is
people,
deporting
attacking
people based
brown
on their skin
people,
color.
Well, it is what he does. He
Right,
plays
so
racial
did
politics
Obama.
as a matter of course.
Obama did it too, only worse.
It's what his politics are all about.
Okay.
His politics are about removing as many non-white people clearly from the country as they can, 3,000 a
And
day.
that's what
That is
Obama's policy was
apparently
too.
the policy.
That's what Obama's
apparently
policy
the
was too.
policy. No,
Only,
it was not. And there
only
was
as we sit here,
rendering of
as
people,
we sit
there was
here,
a process for
as
deportation.
we sit
And
here,
you know that it's material.
as we sit here,
How many did he render to a third party? How many did he render to a third party? Because what he's also doing
You're
is
outraged
using
by
the
Trump, but
cruelty
you're
of
not
the process.
outraged by Obama.
I'm absolutely outraged by fascism and by snatching
But
people
Obama
off the
wasn't a
street.
fascist
No
because
process
he's
and
not.
absolutely
Because Obama's got brown skin.
trying to take people's citizenship away, denaturalizing. That's Idi Amin behavior. There's
Okay.
a black fascist that you can compare it.
Okay, let's move on to. I want to just play a clip of when you lost your job at MSNBC. Let's watch this.
My show had value, and that what I was doing had value. And in the end, I try not to cry when whether it's talking about any of these issues, and yes, whether it's talking about God and the fact that object, to have a right to object to little babies being I'm not sorry that I stood up for those things, because those things are of God. And you know, I'm a church girl too. Those are the things that I my show.
Now look, you're perfectly fine with your show. Many people enjoyed your show for many years. You know, a lot of people at NBC were briefing that the reason for the declining rating post the election, 47% decrease in your election, in your ratings. You told me a lot
I said on my show that the reason Americans could relate to Ukrainians in a way that they didn't relate to Palestinians is Ukrainians were white. And so watching white people get their schools bombed was, you know, hit different. That hit our ratings. I mean, it definitely, we could see the loss of white viewers from that moment that I said that. So they were like, we don't like the name calling. And also I'm a black woman, so I mean, I'm sure it makes them angrier, you know, when I say that. Maybe because I am a Global South person myself, you know, I mean, as a black person, we have a different empathy toward other Global South people when they're suffering. And so we're going to come at that story from a different angle and in a different way and with different kinds of empathies. And I think that's not always received very well in the news spaces.
Now, Joy, I mean, look, let's be honest. I don't think you were fired after all those years because of your skin color, because you're a black woman. I think you were fired because the shows just got increasingly unpopular. It happens all the time in TV. That's why you got let go. Why play the race card?
First of all, I love the fact that your play the race card is your version of the race card. You literally are so fixated on trying to racialize conversations.
You racialize more conversations in your tenure at MSNBC than any host in history.
All right, Piers. And the bottom line is you take an entire conversation that I had with Mark Lamont Hill and pick the bits that you can racialize because this is your shtick. And I get that this is your shtick.
You racialized everything, Joy.
I think it's so interesting to me that you yourself, as a white European, find when people of color talk about race, that you believe is racializing conversation. But when people like you fixate on, well, Barack Obama was a black president, why don't you object to that? That is racializing a conversation about the former president of the United States. But you can't put your, and I'm sure you find that charming and funny.
I find it hilarious because you're the one who said Donald Trump. You said Donald Trump is a white fascist.
He is a close. I agree with
But Obama did the same thing. I'm not allowed to mention his
former chief of staff, who last I checked was not black and said he's fascist, and Mark Milley said he's fascist to the core. So I have to agree about Donald Trump's fascist tendencies. That makes you sad and uncomfortable. I can't help you.
No, he doesn't make me sad. I think he makes you a little bit mad. That's how different. Brian Roberts, the owner of ratings channels NBC and MSNBC, has finally got the nerve up to fire one of the least talented people in television, the mentally obnoxious racist Joy Reid, based on her ratings which were virtually non-existent, should have been canned long ago, along with everyone else who works there. What's your response to that?
Let's play slots for as little as $1. Okay, there are lots of options. I'm just gonna choose Big Bass Bonanza. Here we go. All right. Okay, we're fishing. Yes, let's go. Woo! Big win. There are so many games to choose from. Start playing today for as little as $1.
Oh my god, dude. What the fuck? That is fucking hilarious.
Let's just end with this. Not everyone was upset with you fired. Plenty of
just been canned, fired,
kicked to the side of the road. Her show is over. This saddens me a little bit because I did not yet have the opportunity to go on it. I am celebrating that there is no longer a market for her disgusting product. That's what I'm genuinely happy about. There has been a major shift. Her show and shows like her show no longer have value. And that's not just because of Joy Reid's favorite villains. You know, the evil white man or the Christians or the conservatives. It's because, like, no one watches her show.
So, Joy, I've actually got Michael Knowles waiting in the wings.
Great.
Is there anything you'd like to say to him?
No.
What did you make of his critique of your show?
Well, I mean, the reality is that obviously people watched the show, and obviously that's the reason that the show was on for 4.5, nearly 5 years. So if he didn't like the show, I guess, sorry you didn't enjoy it, but I really am not that interested in his views on it.
Okay, well, we've got Michael there. Michael, anything you want to say to Joy?
Yes, wonderful to be here, Joy. Very nice to meet you. And I guess I would agree with Joy's take. People watched the show in the past tense, and now there's no longer a market for that absolutely vile content. And I think that's good for the culture broadly. And now we can all chat on Pierce's show.
Joy?
The reality is, Michael, the content that you and Piers like to trade in is grievance. And the grievance that white Americans have, that they have to deal with.
I'm not American.
Diversity, that they have to deal with.
Joy,
You just said you have a home in Los Angeles, you love America. And by the way, white grievance is very good for your bottom line. It's very good for your bank account. And so having me here to be able to continue to traffic in that is your shtick. That is what you do. That's what you do, Piers. And so it's great. And I'm sure you find it delightful and fun to say it.
Okay, what is your problem?
Piers, that is what you all traffic in.
Lay down. Hey.
This
problem is you, dog.
I think it's my accent may
Back up. She's just breathing.
Secondly, I don't think anyone. Michael, I will let you respond, but I don't think any host in the history of cable news has waged more grievance than Joy Reid. So the idea that you're now hectoring us about feeling aggrieved about things, you spent years being aggrieved about absolutely everything.
Excuse me, but your favorite president, the president who you completely support, is nothing but grievance.
My favorite president was Abraham Lincoln.
Was grievance. His entire campaign was grievance. Well, your former boss.
I'm not Donald
Trump. You want to call him your friend. The bottom line is that Donald Trump's entire campaign was about grievance. It was about white America feeling they've lost their country and they need to take it back. It was about white America feeling that diversity was a threat to their children being able to go to Harvard.
And you know what, Joy? In the end,
and that is the reason that you all glom onto him and use him to further your own agenda.
Actually, in the end, most Americans, as you know, most Americans, having voted for him in 2016, and after Trump spent 4 years in the wilderness, and we watched the Democrats run the United States of America, people took a look at that in America, and then they voted for Trump second time round in bigger numbers, including a record number of Latinos, who last time I checked were not white. Anyway, Joy Reid, I'm going to leave it with you. Thank you for coming on Uncensored. Next time I'm sure we can move on from the stuff we've talked about today and have a more current debate perhaps about other issues. But I appreciate you coming on patiently, and it's good to see you. Thank you very much. Well, let me come in. I've got Michael and Nina Turner. Nina, you were...
Dog, you gotta get a minute 35, dog. Minute 35.
The way... autism.
Yeah, why is it autism, huh?
Let's watch. Get one
Yo, dog, yeah, you gotta get a minute 20 seconds. Fine, I'll make it easy for you. A minute 21.
Good to see you. Thank you very much. Well, let me come in. I've got Michael and Nina Turner. Nina, you were, well, fair to say, looking quite aggrieved, ironically, about what you were hearing there. What would you like to say?
Pierce, I mean, my God, the way you were coming at Joy, she handled it beautifully, though. I think her...
Was I unfair? I mean, did I say anything?
Yeah, Pierce, you were. And
in what way?
For me to be popping up on the screen like this at the last minute on this topic, so I just want your audience to know I didn't get any warning that I was just gonna pop up here while you guys were talking away. Yeah, just unfair. I mean, I feel like you were beating a dead horse, but Joey handled it. She handled it.
She a dead horse? Wow.
He was just reading the words back to her, wasn't he?
You calling Joy a dead horse?
No, I am not. I'm talking about the topic. You kept going back and forth on this over and over again. She said they did an investigation.
You don't believe it, Nina. Come on, nobody does. Nobody believes it. Of course she wrote that stuff in her blog.
I'm just telling you, I found it to be unfair, okay?
Oh, so come off it, Nina.
Let's talk about, come on. Let's talk about what you brought me on here to talk about.
All right, well, let's talk to Michael quickly first. So, Michael, I mean, it's quite illuminating, the conversation with Joy. I don't think he gets Joy. I never met her. She blocked me on Twitter ages ago, but I don't know what for. Probably for saying something complimentary about Trump, who she views as a Nazi. But that in itself is part of the problem with the Democrats now, is that the constant thing of the only way to tackle Trump is to try and persuade everyone he's a Nazi, he's a fascist, he's this, that. It just doesn't play anymore. It's not how most Americans see Trump. And the Democrats just don't seem to have learned that lesson. They've got people like Obama and Clinton and Chris Cuomo
Pierce
and
Morgan
who are trying to urge some common sense to come into this.
What are they talking about?
I've written a book called Woke is Dead, coming out towards the end of the year, which I think is perfectly timed.
Who's
I
that?
really feel the world has just woken up and gone, we're done with this crap.
Agentic orchestration is redefining how work gets done,
Doing what?
where intelligent agents, systems, and humans coordinate dynamically to meet business goals. This orchestration
being really
only
bad
works
at
if
your
it's built
job
on a
and
foundation of
everything.
clarity.
We're just not having it anymore.
No one watched her show.
Certainly. I mean, I think in that last little segment there, it was total projection from Joy when she's talking about this anger, this grievance. You know, I think, frankly, Pierce, I think you and I are two of the least aggrieved people in the entire media. Generally, pretty chipper.
Completely agree.
So, you know, obviously the left has been pushing this grievance kind of politics for a long time. Trump, by the way, when he was asked if he was going to take revenge on his enemies, he said, no, success is going to be my revenge. We're going to move on. We're going to make America great again for all sorts of different people. And of course, he did bring on a lot of people, many more than just white people, to his coalition. Record number, 46% of Hispanics, 1 in 5 black men to come over and vote, 40% of women under the age of 30. So he built a very large coalition here. And this is what I think Obama is so worried about. Because Obama was one of the big promoters of proto-wokeness. It was Barack Obama who lit up that White House in rainbow colors. It was Barack Obama who was attacking the police at Harvard over the Gates affair. It was Barack Obama who said the cool clock Ahmed kind of racial identity politics. And it spun out of control. So now you're seeing this run away with them. The Democrats got creamed in the 2024 elections. And he's saying, whoa, guys, bring it back. Don't seem so aggrieved. Don't seem so weak. You've got to toughen up a little bit, guys. I just think it's a little bit too late. He's being poisoned with his own petard.
Yeah. All right, Nina. I mean, just to remind you what I was saying, it's going to require a little less navel gazing, a little less whining, and being in fetal positions.
Well, listen, this will probably be one of the only things that Michael and I will agree on. I believe that President Obama is late to the party on this. I wish he had taken some of the advice that he's given. He should have spoken out in 2016, in 2020, and also in 2024. We should have had a robust primary, which we did not, we being Democrats. So I want your audience to know the Democrats did not have a robust primary because we had denial among the leadership, not the faithful. And Pierce, there is a difference between the faithful of the Democratic Party, just everyday people who believe, versus the out-of-touch leaders. So while President Obama's premise is correct, he is late to the party on this, and I feel as though he has very little credibility on it unless he calls out what happened in 2016, 2020, and 2024. Now, the point about the Hitler thing and Democrats.
Yeah.
Now, J.D. Vance.
No, I know.
I'm going to jump in here and do this dance now. J.D. Vance said that about
he did.
President
And he was wrong
Trump
too.
as well. And then he turns around, now that he was made the vice president, now all of a sudden, people want to pretend like he didn't say it. Now, Pierce and Michael, I have been one of the very few disgruntled Democrats because I don't roll with these neoliberals, and that's why they don't like me. I get it from the right, and I get it from the neoliberals.
Good for you.
But I am one of the very few Democrat-adjacent leaders to say comparing President Donald J. Trump to Adolf Hitler is out of line. Secondly, I said to the Democratic Party, if that is the only way that you can try to win, instead of trying to win on your ideas, go sit down somewhere. Because people are sick and tired of hearing it. I want to hear, and the voters and the people that I still talk to, they want to hear about what you're going to do for them, and not necessarily always hearing about what the other candidate is not doing. The Democrats had an opportunity in the first 2 years of President Biden's presidency to push agendas and to be bold and to be brave and to stand on it, and they refused to do it. So now, although I don't like what President Trump is doing, I don't like 99.9% of what he is doing, what I do applaud is the fact that he knows how to use power. And I hope that the Democratic Party gets a clue and stop making excuses. So Pierce and Michael, I and others who abhorred comparing this man to Adolf Hitler, that ought to be acknowledged, because I think that was too far. J.D. Vance went too far. You can be in disagreement with the president, but don't do that. Historically, it's ahistoric.
We all agree.
People to do that.
We've reached a great point in this panel when everybody is in total agreement.
Well, that might be the only point we're going to agree on.
Well, let's turn to something which is very interesting, because it's actually splitting the Republicans. This whole thing, Michael, about the Epstein files, where it looked like we were all being taken down the hill by the Trump administration. A lot of people, Lena Hammer came on my show, couldn't have been clearer. There were all these names, all this scandal stuff. It was all going to come out. You just have to be patient, etc. Pam Bondi from Michaels to people and so on. And then, bang, the shutters came down. Elon Musk suddenly did his bombshell post as he fell out with Trump, saying Trump's in the Epstein files. That's the biggest bombshell. And then the next thing, the whole thing gets shut down. Trump, it's been quite interesting how he's trying to navigate this, because the MAGA world is not happy about the way this has been closed down. But Donald Trump has now gone on the attack against what he calls stupid Republicans. Let's take a look.
It's a hoax. It's started by Democrats. It's been run by the Democrats for 4 years. You had Christopher Wray and these characters and Comey before him. And it's a bad group. It started, actually, look at the Steele dossier that turned out to be a total hoax. The 51 agents, the intelligence, so-called intelligence agents, it was a hoax. It's all been a big hoax. It's perpetrated by the Democrats, and some stupid Republicans and foolish Republicans fall into the net, and so they try and do the Democrats' work.
What makes Starborn the greatest game you've never heard of? Well, to begin with, it's basically Civilization in space, but with thousands and thousands of players. And the absolute gargantuan size of the 3D map is staggering. The sheer number of players vying for galactic dominance is incredible. And they do this in a political landscape that's completely driven by themselves. And it's the kind of people this sort of game attracts. Strategists who...
Holy shit! They're both the same company?
Yeah.
Where's Casey? Where's Casey? Back up! Bro, back up.
She went up there.
Rochester home last night. Turned out to be no match for the 82.
Goes like shit. You don't have to worry about making dinner, at least for me. Okay?
mean, Michael, strong words there. I mean, Trump going on the attack, talking about stupid Republicans, past supporters have bought into this bullshit hook, line, and sinker. Is this a sensible strategy, do you think?
Well, I think that Trump is in a terrible position. And I said from the beginning, I never expected us to get the Epstein files. Because one of two things could be true. Either Epstein is what the government is maintaining, namely just a rich pervert who happened to pal around with all the richest, most famous people in the world, and those two facts have nothing to do with each other. You know, there's nothing to see here, move along. Either that story is true, or this guy really did have compromise on people. There might have been some blackmail, there might have been some association with intelligence services. In which case you also were never going to get any more to that story. So I never really had any illusions that we were going to get a radical transparency. And frankly, I'd even go further. The government could have reasonable, virtuous explanations not to release everything because of potential defamation, because of threats to the world order. So I grant all of that. I am a plan truster. I appreciate Trump's position. But the government needs to have some better messaging. The government needs to explain to people why these sorts of this sort of information might not come out. What the people want, I think, is not primarily radical transparency. What we want is justice. Horrific crimes occurred on this island and in other properties. We want the perpetrators to be held to justice. So the reason why now I think Trump is being reactive is he sees guys like Thomas Massie, who's a political enemy of his in the Republican Party, teaming up with Democrats to try to push this issue. So I think he's just trying to punch back. But Trump gave himself a little wiggle room, if you caught it, right outside of Marine One. There was a clip he was going off about how he wants people to stop talking about Epstein, but he wants all credible information to come out. I thought that was a way that maybe he's leaving himself room to pivot.
Yeah, I mean, in this extraordinary situation, I think the Democrats need to sit back and watch this unravel because it's the conservative right ripping itself to pieces.
I don't want to play games with this, so Michael and I might have a little bit more agreement here. You cannot dismiss the concerns of the people, and that is exactly what they want. They want justice. President Trump is being a hypocrite in this case. It was President Trump who said that he would release, interview after interview, when he was asked as the candidate for a second time, he said he would release the Epstein files. Now all of a sudden, there's nothing to see here. So on one hand, the Republican Party purports to care about young girls and women and all the allegations, right? Every allegation might not necessarily be true, but why don't you release the files, or at least, to Michael's point, give the American people a better explanation other than to say, number one, nothing to see here. Number two, it's a Democratic hoax, which it is not. And number three, President Trump is jumping on his own supporters. Now all of a sudden they're no good. He doesn't need them anymore. Just because he doesn't want to do what he said he was going to do. He's the one that made this promise. So much for draining the swamp in D.C. Because the president on this issue, he's swimming all up in it. He backstroking in this swamp.
I mean, it is an interesting. I mean, as a journalist, I look at this and I think, how can you only have one person in prison right now connected to the Epstein scandal?
Exactly.
Right? When we know he trafficked so many young underage girls, we know he was an appalling pedophile. How is it that the only person in prison is a woman, Ghislaine Maxwell,
That's right,
who was his madame and fixer and absolutely deserves her punishment, but no men, Michael, at all? I mean, Epstein cheated justice, or maybe someone cheated it for him. You know, there's a lot of speculation raging about it, and we don't know for sure. But I just find this fact that we know how widespread this crime scenario was, and yet there's no man who's been held accountable.
Well, this has become the new joke about it. I guess you have to cry. And the joke is that Ghislaine Maxwell is the only person ever put in prison for trafficking girls to no one.
Right.
So obviously there are people. You know, it's not that we need some kind of formal sheet of paper 1, 2, 3, 4 with a client list. We know that Jeffrey Epstein had associates. But I totally sympathize with Trump here. Because you got to remember, this issue long predates President Trump's political career. Trump did know Epstein, like apparently every rich, famous person did in the world, but he kicked him out of his Mar-a-Lago club. I've talked to highly credible sources who say Trump is not in any way seriously implicated in these files, but lots of other people are. And so I think Trump's frustration here is, look, I'm doing great on the border. I'm doing really quite well and maybe great on foreign affairs. Everyone told me the economy was going to collapse. The economy's doing great. I've got all of these major wins, and you're forcing me to talk about some political issue that might even involve international intelligence that predates my presidency by 10 years. And I think he's frustrated. I get that frustration, but I don't think this issue is just going to go away. There's a reason why it's stuck around now for over a decade.
Yeah, I mean,
even though he's frustrated, I mean, he can be frustrated, but he's president of the United States of America, so he has an obligation. You know, he just can't get out of this. If the president was President Biden or President Obama or President Bush, let's name some others.
Eve to me is basically freedom. It's a giant open universe where you can do whatever you want. You can have really relaxed, slow-paced stuff, or you can take it easy. Or you could be on the edge of your seat, shaking, making split-second decisions. This is Eve. You know, it's a crazy universe where anything can happen, and however you want to do it, go for it.
None of them should be off the hook for this. Even though it predates him, he is the one who said that he would release the file. Pam, his AG, said that she had on her desk the file. Now all of a sudden, you don't have the files. Which is it? President Donald J. Trump is in a corner on this, and the only way, he doesn't really know how to get out of it other than to attack people. So now it's a hoax. Now he's attacking his own voters. So we can't have a double standard here, gentlemen, for President Trump than you would for any other president. It doesn't matter all the other things, Michael, that you laid out there. The fact of the matter is that the majority of the American people want an answer, and they deserve it. And you know who else deserves it more? The victims deserve it.
Yeah, and let's not forget, as I've been reminding people, that the son of the late, great Queen Elizabeth II, Prince Andrew, paid one of those victims a reported $11 million, despite insisting he'd never met this person, and that the photograph of his arm wrapped around her when she was 17 was a fake, despite everyone believing it is genuine, and that woman, Virginia Giuffre, recently and incredibly tragically took her life. You know, this scandal has long legs and has incredibly serious consequences for everybody involved. And again, the idea the only person that's been held accountable is a woman just seems preposterous. Thank you both very much indeed. Michael, it was great to finally get you to meet Joy Reid in that way.
Thanks for making the introduction, Piers.
I'm thinking next time I'm in town, we should all go out, the four of us. What a fall that would be on the town.
Yeah, the four of us. You absolutely, let's do it.
I guarantee one thing, we'd have a very entertaining night out. And Michael Knowles, one of the more civilized human beings I've ever met in the United States. So, one of the least aggrieved people I think I've ever had on the show. So I've put some terrible allegations spinning around there. Thank you both very much. I appreciate it. Piers Morgan Uncensored as proudly as we can do. The only boss around here is me. If you enjoy our show, we ask for only one simple thing. Hit subscribe on YouTube and follow Piers Morgan Uncensored on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And in return...
Fuck.
Alright, dog, I'm gonna go get food.
Alright.